Rouge.
Hello.
Welcome to Hip Hop Galaxy.
Thank you for having me. I'm
Always a
excited.
I'm tempted to call you Barbara. Word on the street.
Zero to 100, real quick. Yeah, that's my ID name, guys.
It's your ID name.
Deco Barbara Jessica Whitty. That's
Wow.
who I am. Yes.
Okay. You don't put that out there. You just...
No. So if you miss this interview late, then you'll never know. You'll never know.
So, as the Hip Hop Galaxy team, we kind of looked at your music, we've been looking at your interviews, and one thing that came out from that is that you're a very strong-willed person,
Yes.
a lot of leadership qualities.
Oh, thank you.
So, again, word on the street, in high school, you were deputy.
I wasn't deputy. I was one of the top RCLs, but I wasn't a deputy. I was meant to be. There were fights about it, but nah, that wasn't my calling from God. So, but yeah, I've always been. I would say I've always had a leadership thing about me, and I guess it did string from high school days and primary school days. I was always a prefect. I was always captain. I was always one of those vibes, and yeah, and I'm trying to do the same thing in this music game. So yeah.
So where did you go to school?
I went to high school at Littleton Manor High School. Shout out to them in Centurion, Pretoria. Yes.
Pretoria girl.
Yes, I'm a Pretoria girl. Very much.
So, we've basically been talking, you're very interested in the arts, but what made you kind of go into music?
Well, I've always been into music. I mean, since I was like 3, I remember running to, like, there's a shop near where I live, and that shop is still there, I would go there whenever my moms would go buy bread and stuff. They would literally put me on the counter because they knew I was that girl who'd go on the counter and I'd sing. They would be like, okay, you're gonna entertain all the customers right now, and I wouldn't fight it. I would sing my Boys to Men. I would sing like whatever came to mind, and I would get chocolates and stuff. So it's always been, music has always been in me, and it's something that it came from my family. I mean, I come from a very musical family in terms of music was always played in the house. Always. Whether it be African music, whether it be music from Europe, whether it be music, Indian music, whether it be music from the Americas, there was always some type of music played in the house. And then I have my older siblings who I think pretty much started it because they were the ones who would start dance groups, and they would battle each other in dancing and singing and what, because I'm the youngest in the house of 5, and watching that, obviously I wanted to be a part of that, and I'd say that's where it stemmed from. So my love for music has always been there. Rap is a different story, but for music, it's always been a part of me.
And your parents, did they support your whole? Because I know it's a bit sketchy.
It is, and because also keep in mind, like, I think we all know how African parents are. It's a very scary thing, especially like for me being Congolese, and the fact that my parents left a war-stricken country to come here in order to make sure that their children had a better life, and better life would mean things like being a doctor, being a lawyer, being an architect, being a scientist, whatever it came in terms of your finances were sorted, so we know you're okay if something ever happens to us. And here I come, and I'm like, I want to rap, or I want to do acting, or I want to go into the arts, something that's so scary, especially financially. But and obviously it took them time. It took convincing for a while. I mean, I spent my whole high school trying to convince them that, I need to go into the arts. I have to. As much as I want to do what you guys want me to in terms of going the academic route, but soon they realized that wasn't my calling, and they realized it through all the accolades from high school, from the awards and everything that was coming with it. And eventually, when I was done with high school, I asked them to take a year, which never happens in the Congolese community. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
There's no, like, a year, gap year. Yeah. That word doesn't exist. It's straight like high school, you go straight into varsity, you study medicine, you do law, you do something along those lines. And I was like, no, I want to take a gap year, because for me, I don't understand how you spend a year being told what to do, you spend a year being told what to study, and you're constantly studying, and you have exams, and you have athletics, and you have sports, and you have all this, and then they're like, bam, okay, what do you want to become when you grow up? And it's like, I've been spending my 5 years studying. I'm not sure what I want to do the rest of my life. So when I asked for my gap year, I was like, I know you guys are gonna fight it, but I'm gonna do it anyway, or I'm gonna fail. So, and I took my gap year, and that's when I found my calling. So yeah.
Okay. So did you have a plan in that gap year? Is this something you thought about and you were planning, and you're like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is the plan.
My plan was always music. I knew, my plan was, I always knew I wanted to get into theater, because theater comprised of acting, and it comprised of music, and watching things like The Lion King on Broadway, and watching things like Rent on Broadway, and watching just all these things in the theater. It's always captivated me. That's why I said in high school I was always that girl in the theater productions, whether it be our Stedfords, whether it be house plays, all those stuff, they always grabbed my attention, and I knew, I was like, this is what I want to do, and I can travel with this. I've always wanted to travel, and here's an opportunity for me to do that through something I absolutely enjoy, and I'm gonna get paid for it. What? that's where the mindset was at. So in the gap year, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I know I have an idea of what I want to do. And yeah.
So you mentioned that you're actually from Congo.
Yes. Well, I'm a first generation South African. My entire family is Congolese.
Okay, so you've never been back.
No, I'm actually going back really soon.
Oh, okay.
Well, going there, not going back.
So do your parents talk to you about what's going on?
All the time. It's not even something that they have to talk about. It's something I see on a daily basis through them, through my family, that side. That's why I feel like even though I'm not there, I am there. Okay. I am constantly surrounded by the culture, with the fact that I'm the only one of my whole family who was born here.
Yeah.
I'm the first generation of my line, my family line, to be South African, So there's still that strong Congolese element that is there. That is why it is so important. Like, I feel like it's imperative in my music that I involve in some form, whether it be my name, whether it be the fact that I rap in French, or whatever story that I want to tell, that they can tell that there's another side of me other than the South African side. And so it plays a big role.
Okay, so how was that kind of growing up? Because you were born in South Africa, you're South African, but you also have that Congolese heritage. And, South Africans are not particularly known for their acceptance of
xenophobic.
So how's that experience been? Because you're kind of like you're caught in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, there are great days and then there are bad days. I'd say I had more great days, but I think I have had my moments of being reminded that I'm not really South African. And it happens. I mean, like, let's be real, like, high school is high school. Kids will be kids. Primary school is primary school. Kids are honest, and it's the way they are. It's the way we've always been, So I have had my moments where it's a thing of, why don't you speak any South African languages? If you were born here, why don't you dress like us or talk like us? Why don't you even look like us to a certain extent? I've been told that I don't look South African or whatever. But at the end of the day, I've had a wonderful life in South Africa, and I can't let those one or two moments, a few moments come and dictate just my whole experience of being in South Africa. I have wonderful South African friends. I have wonderful South African people who literally play a big role in what I'm doing, and it has nothing to do with nationality. And so I mean, it's sad because I know it's definitely something that my family sees way more often than me, especially my parents. But at the end of the day, I know I have to live my life to the fullest because of the fact of what they had given up for me to be here. So I can't let a few moments of people telling me that I don't belong here come and dictate how I'm going to live my life.